There was once a hard-working donkey who lived on a farm. Every single morning, before the sun even came up, the farmer would attach a heavy wooden cart to the donkey's back. The cart was filled with fresh vegetables and grain. Then the donkey would slowly and steadily walk the long, dusty road to the village market. It was not an easy job. The road was rough, the cart was heavy, and the sun was hot. But the donkey never complained, never stopped, and never gave up. It simply put its head down and did what it was supposed to do, day after day. One afternoon, a crow flew down and landed on a tree branch right beside the road. It sat there watching the donkey walk by, pulling that heavy cart as usual. After a few moments, the crow opened its beak and started laughing in a loud and mocking way. "Look at you," the crow said with a nasty smile. "You spend your entire life dragging that dirty old cart around. You smell like sweat. You walk like a broken wheel. And after all that hard work, what do you actually get? Nothing. You are completely and totally worthless." Those words hit the donkey hard. It had never thought about itself that way before. It stopped walking for just a moment and looked back at the crow. "I am not worthless," the donkey said in a calm but firm voice. "I help the farmer bring food to the village every single day. Without me, this cart would never move. Without me, people would go hungry." But the crow just tilted its head and laughed even louder than before. "You call that an achievement?" the crow said. "You are slow, you are clumsy, and you always look tired. I have seen turtles walk with more pride than you." Those words stung deeply. The donkey shook its head, turned away, and kept walking. It tried its best to ignore the crow, but the crow's laughter followed it all the way down the road, echoing in its ears long after the crow was gone. The very next day, the crow came back. It sat on a fence near the road and waited. When the donkey passed by again, pulling the same heavy cart, the crow shouted out loud, "Still dragging that cart around, are you? You walk like your legs are made of heavy stone." This time, the donkey felt embarrassed. A small voice inside its head started wondering, maybe the crow is right. Maybe I really do look foolish. So the donkey tried to change the way it walked. It lifted its legs higher. It tried to move faster. It wanted to look stronger and more confident. But the crow just smirked and said, "You still look completely foolish." On the third day, the crow appeared once again. "You are so incredibly slow," the crow complained with a loud and irritating voice. "If I had your job, I would finish it in half the time." That was the breaking point. "I am not slow," the donkey shouted with sudden anger. And just like that, it began pulling the cart faster and faster down the bumpy road. The wooden wheels rattled and shook. The vegetables inside the cart bounced all over the place. The donkey ran until its chest felt like it was on fire. But it did not stop from that day forward. Everything changed for the worse. The donkey could no longer focus on its work. Every single morning, instead of thinking about the road ahead, it listened out for the crow. When the crow said, "You look weak," the donkey pulled the cart even harder. When the crow said, "You are worthless," the donkey worked twice as hard, desperate to prove that the crow was wrong. But here is the sad part. No matter how hard the donkey worked, the crow never stopped mocking, and the donkey never stopped reacting. It was a trap, and the donkey had walked right into it. The donkey slowly started falling apart. It stopped resting properly at night. Instead of sleeping, it lay awake in the dark, replaying every single insult in its mind. Useless, slow, worthless. The words went around and around, in its head like a broken record. "I will prove that crow wrong tomorrow," it whispered to itself, night after night. But tomorrow always brought the same crow, the same insults, and the same burning anger. Then came the 10th day. The sun was blazing hot. The road stretched out long and dry, and right on cue, the crow landed on a fence beside the road. "Well, well, well," the crow said with a grin. "Look who is back. The slowest donkey in the entire valley." Something inside the donkey completely snapped. Every ounce of pain, embarrassment, and sleepless anger exploded all at once. "I am not slow," it screamed with everything it had. And then it started running. It ran as fast as its legs could carry it, dragging the heavy cart behind it at full speed. The wheels bounced wildly. Dust flew everywhere. The donkey's legs trembled. Its breathing became desperate and painful, but it refused to stop. "I am not worthless," it cried with tears in its eyes. And then, suddenly, the donkey collapsed onto the road. It never got back up. Here is the heartbreaking truth. That donkey had been doing hard, heavy work for years and years without any problem. It was strong. It was capable. It could have kept going for many more years. But it was not the hard work that killed it. It was not the heavy cart. It was not the long road or the hot sun. It was killed by something far more dangerous than any of those things. It was killed by rage, by the desperate and exhausting need to prove a mocking crow wrong. Meanwhile, the crow had already flown away before the donkey even hit the ground. It was already on its way to another farm, looking for another animal to target, another soul to chip away at. Now, before you say what a foolish donkey, pause for just one moment. Because that donkey is not just a character in a story. That donkey is every one of us at some point in our lives. Think about it honestly. In your life, there are always crows. There is always someone who laughs at the work you do. Someone who tells you that your dreams are too big. Someone who leaves a cruel comment on something you've worked hard to create. Someone who says, with total confidence, that you will never succeed. These are the crows in your life. And every single time you stop what you are doing to argue with them, every time you lose sleep at night replaying their words, every time you push yourself to the breaking point just to prove them wrong, you are doing exactly what that donkey did. You are handing them power over your life. The most important lesson in this entire story is this: the crow never actually killed the donkey. The donkey destroyed itself. It destroyed itself simply by caring too much about the noise coming from a bird that was never worth listening to in the first place. Do not be the donkey. Keep pulling your cart. Stay on your road, and let the crows fly away.